Afternoon guys, this is just a quick review on owning a modified Fiesta ST. Prior to me actually doing the modifications to my own car, hunting around on the web for information and advice on how's best to do it, best modifications to do first and in what order, etc. So this is just a very quick video on what it's like to actually own one, in terms of drivability, reliability, running costs, and really just the best ways to do it. Companies that I've used and different maps and things like that I've used on the car. So it's just a very short and a very brief review for anybody looking to sort of do the same thing with their Fiesta ST. This is a 2013 model. It's an SD2, so it gives you half leather seats, heated seats, sat nav, the Sony DAB radio and things like that. But aside from all that sort of stuff, obviously standard this car comes with 197 brake horsepower, which is including the sort of short overboost feature that Ford give you. After I'd had sort of, running the stock for a little while, I went to Mountune after reading their sort of reviews on their 215 kit. There were loads of positive reviews out there, and all the sort of magazines, Top Gear and things like that loved that kit. And it showed the difference sort of before and after versus its rivals like the Clio and the Peugeot and stuff like that. That was a really good kit. Really enjoyed owning it. Definitely improved the drivability. There was loads more low down torque, and it really sort of meant you didn't have to drop down the gears anymore to overtake people. If you were cruising at sort of 60 mile an hour on a dual carriageway and you needed to overtake someone, you didn't have to drop it from 6th to 5th. It was just put your foot down. It gave a lot more sort of a much deeper sort of engine note within the cabin, and you got a bit more sort of that turbo whistle that a lot of people sort of look for when owning sort of small turbocharged hot hatch. But yeah, that was a really good kit, and you could definitely notice the difference before and after in terms of sound and performance. After owning that for maybe 8 to 9 months, you start to sort of get used to it again. You start looking for other things to do, and the next sort of modifications to go for. I then looked towards other companies because at the time Mountune hadn't released their Stage 2 package, and I did inquire about them, and I spoke to Fred at Mountune, who was really helpful and a really knowledgeable guy, but he said it wasn't going to be out for a little while at that time. So I then went in search of other maps and other brands, looked at Piron, a few others, ended up going for Revo as a dealer near me, a company called Devil Developments, which are based down in Littlehampton. Are a Revo supplier, and they are a sort of qualified outfit to sort of fit it. Read loads of reviews on them, some good, some bad. Some people saying they would never touch a Revo product for whatever reason. I found it to be absolutely brilliant. So mods alongside a Stage 2 kit. So the Revo, they claim somewhere between 230 to 240 brake horsepower, with a uprated intercooler and at least a catback exhaust system. I've actually had a full Miltek turboback exhaust with a sports cat fitted, so the noise is significantly sort of louder. You get pops and bangs and things like that from the exhaust. Not too drony when you're in 6th if you're below sort of 2,500, 3,000 RPM. Anything above that, then it can sort of be a bit boomy and can be quite sort of intrusive into the cabin. Other than that, other modifications I've done to the car were the Airtec Stage 2 intercooler. So it's actually capable of running up to about 260 brake horsepower. So it's got some sort of future proofing there as well. So if I do want to take it any further, there is room for sort of improvements, if you like. It's been lowered on coilovers all round. It's been dropped by about 30 to 35 mil, so it sits much nicer in the wheel arches. And you do notice it sort of when cornering on B roads and things like that. It is a proper B road back blaster car now. You really do notice it going around corners. The corner's a lot flatter and it feels a lot more stable. It doesn't feel as crashy. The standard setup can be quite hard at lower speeds as well. So when you're at little potholes, you do really feel it. But this seems to absorb all the minor things quite well. But it does still give you that really good balance going around the corner. So it hasn't spoiled the handling characteristics of the car, which was what made it so good. So it's been lowered, new intercooler, full exhaust system. Other things, it's got Team Dynamics Pro Race 1.2 alloys all round as well. They are same size as 17-inch wheels in gloss black, so they look really nice on the vehicle. All the plastics have been glossed as well, and the R Composites front little splitter's been added as well, so it just makes it look even lower, and it sits really nice now. It's got sort of a good stance to it. Other than that, there are mainly sort of cosmetic ones done. I've had a new air intake put in as well, so that was a J1 automotive induction kit, big induction cone, and a heat shield on it as well, so it tries to prevent any of the heat soak coming across from the engine, which has claimed to add somewhere between 5 and 10 bhp. When I first had the Revo kit fitted, it was 236 bhp on the rolling road down at Devil Developments. Since having that fitted, if they, their claimed figures are 5 to 10 bhp added, even if you got, say, the minimum of the 5, it's running around 240 brake horsepower now, which is significantly more than the standard, and you definitely feel that. You get a little bit of torque steer, but it's nothing too drastic. It makes it a little bit more fun, it makes it a bit more exciting to drive. A very recent modification that I've had done fitted in the last 2 to 3 weeks is a forge recirculation valve, an atmospheric one. So you get loads of blow-off noise, and anything above sort of 4,500–5,000 RPM, you get a proper sort of turbo flutter chatter sort of noise, which I'll try and sort of demonstrate to you guys in a second as well when we get on the move. And obviously the fuel consumption has dropped quite considerably. I'm probably averaging only 25 to 30 mpg driving carefully now. You really don't sort of want to do this if it's going to be a daily driver and you're sort of already concerned about the fuel consumption. It wasn't brilliant when I bought it, being standard, but yeah, now it's more of not a weekend tour. It's not quite so bad that you'd have to class it as that, but if you have got access to another car, or money's not an issue, then it will be fine. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it out and we're going to see what it's like out on the road, and hopefully you'll be able to hear some of the noises and things like that it makes now. Okay, so we'll take it out, see what we think of it. Immediately you'll probably start to notice the turbo noise after gear changes, as you let off the throttle. Obviously it releases the boost pressure. Oh, is the transit van going to let us go? Yes, thank you very much. So second gear pull. Straight away there, second gear, so much more torque low down. Obviously you can hear the exhaust purring away out the back, and as you probably heard as well, that little turbo sort of chatter that a lot of people like. A lot of people have got in and gone, oh, a bit more Fast and Furious style, but yeah, it's a nice little thing to add on. I don't think it adds anything in terms of performance as far as I'm aware, but it adds a good sound, which is quite cool. In my opinion, second and third gear is where you feel most of the pull. It's sort of low down, so the increase in torque, that's where you really feel it. So third gear, building, all the turbo starts spooling up by about 3,000. Here pops and bangs, and it's a much more exciting car to be in with all the noises and things now. It's much more, the sensors are sort of taking a bit more of a battering by having all these mods done. But if you are looking at modifying your Fiesta ST, Miltek exhaust, is what I would recommend. I've looked at various other brands, Scorpion, Cobra. There are loads out there. You can get custom ones and things like that actually made for you. I have no idea how much that costs, but after listening to various other cars, I've got friends and things like that with different brands of exhausts on. I've always seemed to settle and come back to the Miltek one. I had it on my previous car as well, and that sounded great. That was the old Fiesta ST, so that was non-turbo, but it sounded brilliant. And I couldn't really fault that, to be honest. So I thought, why take a chance and risk anything else when I know these are brilliant? They're all made in the UK, full stainless steel turbo back exhaust, and it really does sound good. To give you an idea of what it's like to drive enthusiastically on a nice B road. So a second gear pull. hold you in place like glue. So there's no chance that you're going to be coming out of the seats anytime soon. It's just a really good car to drive. It's just a really good laugh. If you want to take it out on a Saturday afternoon, Sunday afternoon for a blast around some tight, twisty British B roads, a little hot hatch like this is very, very hard to beat. But with a modified one, I've left standard Focus STs anyway, so the previous generation, the 5-cylinder 2.5 litre turbo, and the new one as well, the 2 litre 4-cylinder with a little bit more power as standard. Left both of those sort of for dust, if you like, pulling away. You come alongside you, and you know, you both sort of smile at each other, put your foot down, and I think he had a bit of a shock watching the sort of smaller brother leaving its bigger Focus ST brother sort of well behind, and I eventually let off the accelerator to just let him catch up and sort of see his face. But yeah, if you want to surprise a few people in their BMWs and their Audis, their sales reps cars, if you like, their 2 litre diesels and 3 litre diesels, do get a real surprise when they can't sort of undertake you anymore when you put your foot down, and they end up doing the trademark BMW hand gesture, which isn't a wave, but it looks a similar motion to a wave. It goes like that as opposed to a wave. So you get a lot more of those from BMW drivers now. But yeah, anybody who's looking to modify their Fiesta ST, whether it be a stage 1, stage 2, or even further, I mean, you can take these up to well over 300 horsepower, but then you start getting to serious modifications and serious money as well. But I think next thing for my car is going to be a big brake upgrade kit. I know Mountune are developing something because I've spoken to a couple of the guys there, and they've said that they are looking at developing something and releasing something this year, 2016. At the moment there are other companies out there that offer various big brake upgrades for the Fiesta ST, so it's definitely something I'm going to be looking at in the near future, as I think adding any more power to the standard setup could cause some sort of concerns, if you like, when coming up to a roundabout and you're going a little bit faster, you've got that little bit more momentum behind you, you want something, I think, a bit more meaty under the brake pedal. So that's what we're going to be going for next. If you've got any questions, any queries on what modification I've done, what modification I did first, or what you're looking to do, I've got a lot of sort of friends who have had these vehicles as well, and very similar cars, so I've got sort of a good base and a good lot of people to ask. So if I can't answer the questions, I'll be able to speak to people who are either going through the same phase that you might be going through, or if you've got questions on taking it further, or who I've had fit my mods to my vehicle. Then pop them in the comments below. I'll put a full list of all my modifications that are on this car anyway in the description below. Any questions, any comments, if you like the video, please like, share and subscribe the video as well. And yeah, any questions, fire away. Thanks very much guys, see you on the next one.